So to start off with, let's just look at comps quick. Looks like they have a Lulu top, Tristana, Janna, Branyi, Graves Jungle. Okay. So the first thing we want to look at is your lane. They have a fairly passive lane with Tristana, Janna, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is you want to kind of poke trade. You know, you want to put a shield on Tristana. Tristana throws your E on you. She hits you a few times and then she walks away. Simple play by Tristana. You have a sustain lane, which means your whole goal is to take trades that might not typically favor you and to get away with them. Okay?
Yeah.
And then Soraka is just, anti-fun. So, load everyone in here. Gonna fast forward a little bit till we get to laning phase. So something else we need to keep in mind is that the team is fairly squishy, but they also have high damage, so you might want to look into getting an earlier defensive item, possibly. Because with this lineup, you're not going to have them building armor, so you might just want to get, like, your two crit-based items, so the IE and whatever attack speed item you choose to get, right?
Yeah.
And then look into getting defensive. Of course, I don't know if you do this or not, I'm just
Yeah,
prep talking.
I went IE first and then rapid fire cannon.
Alright, that's fine. Um, so, in a Tristana lane, what should be your primary goal to punish her? Because League's all about punishing, right?
Um Whenever she gets close to killing a caster minion that's near me, I start auto attacking her.
Okay, but that's just standard trading, right? You
Yeah.
do that in every lane. Tristana has a very large weakness in lane that you can exploit, especially early game and especially as a champion like Caitlyn.
Um
I'll hover
hmm,
over her. It'll give you a hint.
when she
Think about Tristana's abilities.
probably when she E's me and
And,
she E's onto me and Q's me, and then I'll start punishing her by auto attacking, maybe placing a trap behind her.
okay, to punish
Or maybe
Tristana
like
in this lane, you don't have to touch her.
oh.
Okay?
I know. Probably when she E's me, I just walk away.
No, she was not going to E you.
Oh.
What
Hmm.
does Tristana naturally do based on her kit? What does her E do?
What's
Passively.
Oh yeah, detonates the whenever she kills a minion, it
AoE damage, right?
yeah, AoE damage.
So what can you do to punish her because she has an innate skill like that?
Probably just continue to auto attack her.
Just shove the wave, right? If you just shove the wave under her tower, she can't CS every creep every time.
Oh,
So
okay.
if we do this math-wise, so we're gonna ignoring cannon creeps because they're annoying. 6 creeps in a wave, right? Let's say you
Hmm.
hit every creep perfectly and you shove her under the tower every single time. Now, unless this Janna's really good or this Tristana knows how to prep her wave, which most likely she doesn't, because that's a very hard thing to do as Tristana, she's probably going to miss at least one creep. That doesn't sound like much, right? But there's
Yeah.
also chances she's going to miss more than that quite often, right? Because sometimes you just can't last hit a creep. Sometimes it's too low and you don't have the damage, etc., etc. So sometimes she's going to miss two. But if you hit all 6, just by shoving the wave, you'll get a CS lead on her. And this CS lead can instantly turn into an item, you know? If you poke her out of lane then, because also Caitlyn's very good at poking under the turret, correct?
Yeah.
So if you poke her out of lane, as well, maybe she has to back a little early, she has a pickaxe, but because you've been CSing and she's been getting shoved under, you have a BF sword, right? And right there
Yeah.
is your first advantage, okay? So it's important to know how matchups should be played out, and in this matchup, you can just shove her in to be more passive instead of having to trade her. Now you do outrange her, so like right here, you can auto her,
Hmm.
um, and that's fine. And also because you have the Soraka, if she throws an E on you, you can kind of just keep autoing her for a little bit, right? And then Soraka's gonna heal you up.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, um, just try to keep her under her tower because Jaina can't do much then either. All right, she's not great at that point. You know, she can't shield Tristana, and Tristana can't engage. The only downside with this is you need to make sure this is warded. But the
Hmm.
benefit is the jungler is not a heavy ganker. Correct? He
Yeah.
is not a Rammus. Okay, he's not going to come rolling in at the speed of light.
Yep.
Alright?
Okay.
So there's your first initial thing. As soon as you get into this game, as soon as you see the matchup, you need to think, how do I win this lane? How do I do it aggressively? How do I do it passively? How do I do it calculated? How's my support factor into it, etc., etc., correct?
Correct.
That's the first thing you need to do. Yeah?
Okay. Right.
So there's not much you can do there because it's just a Janna shield, right? You can't shove her in level 1 unless you waste all your mana. If you would do this, I would get Q. I personally don't like trap starting Caitlyn
Okay.
because even if someone walks into your trap level 1, you're just going to get an auto or two, right? Compared to if you hit your Q on somebody, it hurts. I typically don't get trap on Caitlyn until 4. That's not to say that anything else is bad. Just my personal opinion. So, this is well played by them. That's not exactly your fault. If Soraka wasn't standing there, they probably wouldn't have gone that aggro. These two also seem coordinated, so they'll probably a duo. So you can need to factor that in as well at this point. Because the Janna shielded Tristana, and Tristana instantly jumped in. It was a coordinated play. Okay. So this factors in for you. You now know that your mid lane is winning. This gives you more pressure to push, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now they have strength because you're not shoving them in. They can focus on you over the minions, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more patient with your CSing. Okay though, you're doing fine so far.
Okay.
You should have hit there. Okay, auto and then Q. Okay, so how often do you play Kate? Is she one of your main champions you play?
No, she's not one of my main champions
Okay.
I play. I just figured that if I picked her, it'd be a good, easy matchup against the Tristana and Janna.
Okay.
I usually play MF, Graves, and Jinx.
Okay. Very important to know, Caitlyn, if you're an AD carry player, because she goes into anything. Okay. So Caitlyn has some animation canceling you can do with her Q and her E's and stuff. Very notably the QE combo, right? Okay, that's a free kill for you. You know she has no flash. Okay. Alright, let's go back and watch that. Let's watch that slowly.
Yeah, I probably should have kept going on her instead of flashing backwards, but I figured.
No, it was right to flash there. Okay, so we see Tristana's rocket jumps out. First mistake, you autoed the Janna.
Yep.
Okay? Here, you're wasting time. You could have had another auto attack in by now and been working on your next cooldown.
Okay.
Okay? Because you were walking back. They're not focusing you. They don't care about you. Right now, right?
Right.
So, you could have literally just sat still here and just orb walked and hit her the whole time. Okay?
Okay.
This does two things right now. One, it removes the AD buff Tristana would have been getting. First off, your first headshot would have probably dinked this, and the second auto attack that you missed would have gotten rid of it. So Soraka would have been healthier. Factor
Okay.
1. Okay? Factor 2, it gets rid of the shield.
Yep.
And then even with, especially with the exhaust, this thing probably wouldn't have hurt her. Period. Like, Tristana couldn't hurt her. So you'd have the Soraka later. Okay, so imagine if she didn't have the AD shield plus the exhaust, she'd probably still up to, like, here in health. Okay?
Okay.
Hold on, let me go to my pen thing. There we go. That's my pen. So she'd probably, we can say Soraka's like up to here in health instead right now. Alright. So again, you see how you're kind of just wasting time walking? Like, why are you trying to walk in front of them? Right? There's no reason for you to be walking in front of them. You're not going to
Right.
block any one of the autos. None of these spells that are going to be coming at Soraka are blockable. Okay? So instead, you could have been sitting here almost this whole time, just wailing on the Tristana.
Gotcha.
If you did that, I could probably safely guess that the Tristana would be down to probably here by now.
Okay.
I think that's fair to say. Because you've probably canceled about 2 autos or an auto and a half at this point. Okay?
Yep.
So the E there was unnecessary. Again, you've canceled your auto. So if we go back a couple seconds. Yeah, a little too far. Or did I go forward in time? I went forward in time. Whoops. Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay. So from the start of this engage, You've autoed once,
Healed.
autoed twice, canceled an auto there, and used your E. Okay, so if we go back and watch this one more time, let's look at your attack speed. 0.7. Okay, so a little under a second you can attack. Okay, so if we take this up to 1 second time, so regular time, let's count the seconds. Well, once the engagement starts.
Oh, okay.
1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. 4, 1,000. So, in just about 5 seconds, we'll call it 5 even, you've only autoed twice.
Yeah.
Which, your attack speed says you could have autoed more.
Mm-hmm.
You've missed about 2 hits. So you could have been at 4 hits. So, imagine 2 extra hits right now on this Tristana. She'd be about right here. This is before your headshot comes in from the E reset. So,
Yep.
watch the E. Okay, actually the E already went in. Okay, so you missed the Q. Okay, you could have saved that Q. You could have just autoed her
Okay.
over queuing, just because the Q level 1, it hurts a lot, but you know that she's probably going to try to run away.
Yeah.
Right? So try to save that for like your desperation play, and just try to start orb walking this way. As soon as you saw her flash, like as soon as you saw this Tristana flash in the turret range up here, you should have
Okay.
instantly started orb walking this way.
Gotcha.
Okay? Because you know that she is now running this way as well. Okay,
Yep.
so your job is to kill her at this point. I don't remember completely because we haven't watched this too many times. So instead you do what's called direct inputting. You direct input this way and then this way. Direct input is a fancy term for clicking. It makes us coaches look smart.
Okay.
Okay? But at the same time, by going here and then here, you've cut off part of your path.
Yeah.
So you could have been up here.
Gotcha.
Correct?
Yeah.
And
except
so
now-
the Tristana would have to keep walking this way. You just keep orb walking this way into the minion path, and you get the extra autos you need to kill her.
Okay.
Okay? So she comes up. You could have had Q right here. You see her heal.
Mm-hmm.
So what you could have done there to kill her, even through her heal, was auto, instantly hit that Q to animation cancel your auto, and
Okay.
then gotten the second auto in. So it would be auto Q auto with an animation canceling in between the first 2 sets.
Gotcha.
Alright. That's how you get the small advantages in trades. You need to do things such as animation canceling, such as the direct input orb walking, all these fancy terms that make me look like I know what I'm talking about. But they get you those small advantages. 50 health, 75 health. Those are big. Right? Let's make this a little cleaner. So, you're going to get healed by Soraka a little bit here. She is out of potions because I don't agree with that start. So at this point, you know you're stronger because your health is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of standing back here passively, you should be moving up closer to this area.
Okay.
Because you know one of 2 things is going to happen. Tristana's going to get a shield, and she's going to try to trade with you with that shield. If she does that, you hit her. Because that shield is 1 auto Q to death, right?
Right.
So if she walks up, if she throws her E, you need to remember her E has a cast time, I think it's about 0.5. So as soon as you see her cast that E, you instantly auto Q. Okay?
Gotcha.
Because she's stuck stationary for like 0.5 seconds, and the chances are she's going to follow that up with an auto attack.
Okay.
Okay? So you either stop her from auto attacking by using that combination, and you still get an auto attack in, because you start with the auto, or you hit her with an auto attack and a Q, which gets rid of the
Gotcha.
shield, and then you can just E into her. Oh, it's getting cluttered. You can just E into her and just kill her.
Okay.
Or force her rocket jump. Okay, and if she forces rocket jump, you just rotate this way and hurt this chick a little bit. Maybe blow her flash. Right?
Gotcha.
So right now, this is just over passive. Being back here. Okay, you probably move up here in a second. But you could be up here, like, hitting the chick. See, you move up here, but you could have been doing this a couple seconds ago. Yep, so right now you just want to deny CS. You want to put a trap in here. Okay, you needed to use your EQ combo there because you would have hit the Q. Do you know your EQ combo on Caitlyn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you EQ the head, then you have the headshot range. This is a free kill. That was a kill.
Yep.
So you've already missed one opportunity for a kill. Okay, so CSing, this is good. You're zoning her. So you've lost your kill.
Yep.
So if we're gonna put this in the gold perspective, I like to put everything in the CS numbers because there's something that anyone can look at and be like, okay, it's this, this, and this. You know, so a kill is 300 gold, which is approximately 12 to 14 CS depending on what kind of CS you kill.
Okay.
So if you got this kill and we're rounding on the lower number, it's almost as you have 40 CS to her 25.
Gotcha.
Okay. Um, and now if we do the thing we talked about earlier with the shoving the lane, she might not have 25 CS right now. She might have 17. And assuming if you killed her again, which might not happen, you'd have a huge CS lead. But something I want to point out to you is, if she had 17 CS, assuming you shoved the wave in, you now have an 11 CS lead. Correct?
Right.
If you kill her and you're at 40 CS, that's only 3 CS more than what you could have done shoving. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So the lower risk play of just shoving is giving you the same benefit. Okay?
Gotcha.
Something I want to point out. So at this point, you know that she's backing, so you just hard shove the wave. Yeah. So just auto shove, because you want her to miss this cannon and all of these if you can help it. So you get to this wave, instantly Q this. Yep. Hit these first.
Hit those first. Okay.
Yep. Because these minions are focusing the front line, so you can idle less. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit, because backing is boring. So let's look at your team. The Yi's strong. Your Graves jungle's having some trouble, so you can't count on his gank pressure right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Aurelia is doing alright CS-wise. She hasn't died. Mid lane's kind of struggling a little bit, but she's still winning her lane. You are currently behind in CS.
Yep.
But that's because there's a very big wave here. Yep, good punish because she walked up like an idiot. So you get a pickaxe, pink wood, and some potions. That's fine. In this lane, I would get attack speed earlier so you can innately shove right away.
Okay.
Learn to prep your own minions.
Yeah.
Something really important that people don't know how to do that they need to learn to do.
Yeah.
So you're looking for the auto. Yeah, yep, just back up when she has that shield. There's no reason to fight her. As soon as that shield goes off, though, you can engage, because Janna's really doesn't do anything at that point besides disengage. Hit her. Okay, you should have hit the Janna twice there, plus an EQ combo.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's go back and watch like how much damage you really could have done there. Okay, so coming up to it. So you currently have control. Think of this as like domains. Right now, your domain is kind of like this because you guys have the pressure here. She walks into your domain. You could have autoed her already once, EQ'd her, and because of where you were standing, your E just would have put you into the wall. Okay? And that would have stopped the Tristana jump. Okay? Because Tristana would have been too scared to go in there. The E is coming, which you didn't have wards for, but you still would have been fine. Okay, you need to work on your Q range if you're going to play Caitlyn.
Yeah.
A standard tip for solo queue is it's always better just to play a champion you're comfortable with than someone that you think is a better matchup.
Okay.
Until you get to higher levels. The reason is, if you don't hit the Qs on Caitlyn, she's not better in that matchup. And if you aren't comfortable with her trades and her abilities, then you're not really playing Caitlyn.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes plenty of sense.
Yep. Okay. Pressure this cannon creep. Okay, right. Oh, no, don't go faster. Right there, you should have let. I'll show you what you should have done there. Get close to the cannon creep dying. Okay. So, you know she's going for this cannon creep.
Yeah.
Okay, she is an 80 carry. She is going for that cannon creep.
So
So
basically,
you have
punish her for going to the cannon.
yeah, you have two options in this situation. You forfeit this and punish her with a full combo. Okay? Like if you're gonna forfeit this, you're gonna hit her with everything you have. Okay? And you punish her when she goes for this, or you take this minion and trade this minion for this minion, which isn't worth for you. Alright?
No.
So this is something where we have to put your damage into a gold value. Okay? You're gonna lose gold to gain damage on your opponent, right? But what could
Right.
this ensure later? It ensures that she isn't able to counter trade you down the road because she's going to be chunked. She has no health potions, which is something you need to keep in mind. So if she does try to counter trade, you just drink a potion, right? So
Right.
if you full comboed her, she'd be down to here easily. And if you had ult, she'd be down to here, excluding Janna shield. Okay, that's and the Janna's probably gonna shield, so it would make up for that. But it's a free punishment that you missed. They could really make a huge change, and you can do this every single time there's a cannon creep. You miss a CS to punish the cannon creep. Okay, there's a an article I read once about Faker, and it was some pro player. I think it was um, some LCK player, but he was playing against Faker, and someone asked him, "What's it like to play against Faker?" And the comment was, "Faker punishes you for every CS. He makes it so that every CS costs you your life, literally." Okay, and that's what some people think make Faker so dominant. Is he's so good at these small, what I call micro trades. Okay, trades that last a second. Um, that he can whittle his opponents down and just start forcing his lead, his control.
Okay.
All right. Um, can you give me 1 second? I'm getting a phone call. I just wanna.
Yeah, no problem.
I have to make sure I get this. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Okay, back to business. Um, so let's hit
Talking
play.
about the trading for the gold.
Yeah, you understand that though? Just the
Yeah.
punish that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And play. And no one likes the slow motion Caitlyn. Okay, you didn't want to queue there because there's a shield. Never trade with a Tristana. Never trade with X80 carry with Janna shield. Because you won't win.
Gotcha. So
One, because of
shield,
the...
So like whenever the Janus shield pops up, just don't bother attacking.
Yeah, and as soon as it's down, trade.
Gotcha.
Like there. See? Yep, keep hitting her. So you knew you weren't going to get that CS because it was just in that awful range where it's just like, I know I'm not going to be able to get this.
Yeah.
So your wave is shoving at this point. I would just shove it the whole way in and force your Tristana to have to deal with it. Auto her. Auto the Janna. You waste a lot of time trying to move instead of autoing, okay? Use the most of your damage and your attack speed. Okay. So you have no wood, so it's okay to be playing passive here. It's kinda... This Soraka's not warding well because she's going some weird, stupid build. Alright. So right now, just because you don't see the jungler, you had to play a little more passive.
Mm-hmm.
EQ the Trist.
Ah.
Okay. Like I said, that's familiarity with your champion.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have picked a video where I was familiar.
Okay. There's stuff that you can learn. Basic trade stuff you can learn here.
Yeah, see, I realize now that I did more walking than auto attacking.
Mm-hmm. Also just how to trade properly.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't want to stop right there because... Okay, fairly aggressive flash.
Yeah.
And by fairly, I mean extremely aggressive flash. Oof, you both got hit. Sucks. Okay, it's okay to keep pressuring here a little bit. Hit the Janna. So she's under the tower, so if she hits you, she's gonna tank that. Yep, keep that red buff proc on. Okay, at this point, just shove the wave. And get away from that. Okay. The 10-hour late teleport's coming in.
Yep.
And she's probably dead.
Yep.
Okay. So let's watch this back slowly. See what you could have done better. Oh, this is a long fight. Okay, so you kill the Yi. We're not going to count that as part of the fight, because it's kind of its own isolated event that happens. So you walk up to a Tristana. There's a huge wave. She has the shield on. You can already see right here, this is just a big mistake from you.
Mm-hmm.
This Q is a horrible mistake because she is in range of you completely. Okay? So you get slowed then. You're in what's called... shoot. I forget what it's called. Basically, it's a... like an invisible health bar. An invisible bar that people use. Or they refer to. Can I use my pen, please? There we go. It's like an invisible third health bar you have, a bar that you have. And it's basically where another champion can kill you. So for Tristana, so like this bar here is based on Tristana. Okay, Tristana can kill you 100 to 0 you based on like this much health. Right? She throws her E on you, autos you a couple times, hits ult, you're dead.
Yeah.
Okay? Yours for her is probably like... This is assuming everything hits. It's probably like... Here's the bar, yours is probably like here-ish. Tristana's a little harder to kill than you are right away because you have to factor in her jump. Okay?
Okay.
You are in... It's called lethal. That's what it's called. Your lethal bar. Alright, so you were in that bar, so using that Q just sets you in a position for you to die. Okay, so that's the first big mistake. Okay. And as you can see, she goes right in. Yep, pop heal. So the reason that Flash was greedy was you already saw that she healed. You do not do enough damage to just do that with a Q.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see, you walk back in here. This is what's called poor direct input. I can tell you exactly where you're clicking based on your movements. You were clicking this way, and then you were like, "Oh, she's still low," and then you direct input it this way. You literally clicked right here.
Yeah.
100%. The reason is because you were not directly facing Tristana. I can see that. If you would clicked on Tristana, you would have been facing this way. Right?
Right.
So you clicked in this area right here. This is poor direct input. Okay? Your direct input kind of looks like this sometimes. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Make sure that your direct input is precise. If you want to walk back here, click here. If you want to walk over here, click here. Don't do this weird thing you see players do, like if this is you. Don't like do this weird clicking thing where people are like, I'm gonna click here and then here and then here and then here and I'm gonna zigzag the whole way back to my turret because that keeps me alive longer. No, it really doesn't.
Okay.
Not with champions like Tristana, who there's no skill shots. Right? Now if you're playing against like a Nidalee, yeah, do the stupid little zigzag thing. Right? Because then you miss a skill shot.
So basically, I'm just so cut down on the clicking.
Yeah, basically.
Don't click as much, I should say.
Yeah, basically, and this might even make you feel a little bronze. You're not even clicking right.
Okay.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And that's stuff that you look at challenger players and they know how to click right.
Okay.
No one ever told me how to click right when I first started playing. Like, I had to figure it out. Right? It's hard, and it's something that's very hard to think of consciously.
Okay.
But it's something that if you can do consciously and adapt to it, you trade better. It increases your trade potential and it gets you out of bad situations a lot more often. I'm tired of listening to this exhaust. Yeah. Yeah. So you see the TP come in.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 traps stacked up right now. You just don't have the mana to use them. But you
Yeah.
had enough mana to put a trap there as soon as you saw that TP come in, and she would have gotten insta-stunned. Okay, so we run away. Yep, auto her. Didn't need to kite backwards there. So even like right there, did you see like you autoed her and then you walked to the right?
Yeah.
You could have just walked towards the turret.
Yeah.
Because you know she's running. She's not going to fight you right next to the turret when you're now fully healed up with a Graves. Right?
Right.
And that's game sense with a mixture of direct input. Okay, so you hit this chick and she dies to the red buff. Plus poison because she auto-attacked Graves. So you see the brand. You just... Alright, you're just dead there. That's not completely your fault. That was just LeBlanc not being able to cut off brand. So fast forward through all of this.
Well, and I realized I was dead anyway, so there was no point in running, so I figured I could just fight to the end.
Yep, that's fine. Alright, so let's take inventory stock. Your lane is not strong. You are down in CS.
Yep.
Okay? This could have been avoided with just shoving the wave innately. Now, you've gotten some kills. So we factored what? A kill is worth 12 CS. So this is worth 24. You'd be at 87. So 10 above her right now gold-wise. Now, she has an assist, so that probably factors into about 5 CS. So you're about 5 CS above her. If you would have been innately shoving her into the tower the whole time, she'd probably be at about 60 CS. And you would have been at about 80 CS just naturally because you're not getting pressured then. So you see where I say you can just get a gold lead just by pressuring the lane properly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to speed up here a little bit just because I don't want to harp on laning phase all day. I think I've given you a lot for laning phase. Let's look at your team fight a little bit. So trades all around. Weird gank that happened. Because you said late game things just fell apart here.
Yep, late game things did fall apart.
Okay. So there's no reason for you to back here. You can shove out this wave. It's a cannon wave. You want to shove this wave out. Because you know Tristana has a cannon wave coming on this side then. Right? So that's going to take her longer to clear. You want to clear back after you kill the cannon. And the other team... That is the perfect back, is when you can clear the cannon wave and the other person can't. Because it takes longer to clear a cannon wave than any other wave. You never want to back on a cannon wave. Because the chances are this cannon could die. Okay? Okay, more fun trades. So that was just poor trading. Okay?
Yep.
Very basic. You stand in her range a little bit too much, even though you outrange her. Okay, this would be like you hugging a bruiser as an AD carry. Like, it's just not a good idea. It applies to AD carries as well. So LeBlanc ganks. You should have held that ult.
Yeah.
Because you knew Tristana was going to block it. The chances of her not blocking that are slim to none. Okay, she's retarded. Also, another benefit, if you would have been shoving this whole time, this tower would have been dead about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Right? And you could have been mid shoving this turret. So that's one way you close out games faster, is you get your turret first. And then rotate to the other lanes and take their turrets. Yeah, Tristana, Janna shield, blah 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 blah. Bot lane's boring. Shove this out, you should go instantly mid lane. No reason for you to back here. The IE isn't that... So IE by itself is not a super cost efficient item.
Okay.
The thing that makes IE so dominant for so many seasons is that IE increases the cost efficiency of other crit items. Okay, so this is the big math stuff that analysts do, and they're like, oh, crit is worth... For one crit, you get 5 gold. Right, and I don't do that because that's boring and it's stupid math. But when you get IE, that one crit now is worth 8 gold. Assuming crit's worth 5 gold. I don't know what it actually is. I don't really care. But it adds more to that crit because now your crits do more damage. Okay? So that's why IE is so dominant. But by itself, it is horribly cost efficient because it's so much money for a damage source that you can get from a BF sword, which provides better trading potential. Okay, so better trade.
Don't rush IE then.
You don't have to. You can rush IE. That's fine, but don't think it's some huge thing to finish it. Because you backed here to get that IE when you could have just shoved mid and gotten some damage onto this, right?
Right.
So it's more so don't feel like you have to get that IE right away.
Okay.
Like if it's in your bank, it's not like, oh, gotta go buy. Like it's not gonna change your team fight too much unless you get a lucky crit and then you're just lucky and you should go play the Powerball. All right.
Gotcha.
So you go bottom here. No real reason to. You should be pressuring mid. Try to get that mid turret. You kill her. She's stupid. So this is what I call the AD carry dilemma. You didn't need to push the extra waves. You could have just slow pushed them back here. Let them become a huge, giant, massive wave of doom. Okay? And then gone mid and pushed 2 towers down. Because you know, Tristana, someone has to come respond to a gigantic wave down here eventually.
Okay.
This is what teams called slow push. That's a 5.
So make a big, huge wave and then move over to another lane then.
Yep. I talk about this with the 5s team a lot. Slow pushes create pressure points. I need to get like a tablet or something that I can write with. So they create pressure points. Okay? Pressure points, if you think of the other team, the whole team as a human body, okay? Pressure points are something that, you know, I'm sure you've had someone push one of your pressure points. It hurts. You have to hit their hand to get them away to stop, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
like getting pushed on your pressure points. It's the same thing in a game. If you imagine the team as a body, when you put a pressure point on them, such as a slow push into a tower, they have to react to it. They can't
Yeah.
just ignore it. Okay? And if they do ignore it, they lose gold, aka a victory for you. So creating slow pushes, you should never leave a lane not slow pushing. Because if you don't, you risk getting counter pressure pointed. So you want to get the pressure points pushing. If you don't push away, if the pressure point pushes back towards you. There is a time to do this. Um, there's a time that you can do this, and that's called bouncing a wave. But don't worry about that. That's not too relevant in solo queue.
Okay.
Okay, that's for like lane swaps and stuff. Okay, so you're back. People don't believe me when I can tell them that I spend an hour of time on like 15 minutes of a game.
Oh, I believed it. I didn't doubt it for a second.
Okay, so yeah, you found the brand. You're dead.
Yep.
Okay, so fast forward to when Caitlyn comes alive. Runny, runny, runny. Yeah. So at this point, it is up to you to carry this game. Uh, which means not getting hit by brand skill shots.
Yeah.
Okay. So when is Caitlyn's power spike?
When she gets rapid fire cannon, I feel like.
2 items, based on an IE based build. Okay, IE secondary crit item. That's standard across most 80 carries, the exception being Tristana and Jinx. Most 80 carries get the first big power spike at 2 items. You know, Ezreal, it's his Triforce Man Immune combination.
Yeah.
Corki's just Triforce. Corki's weird. He's not really an 80 carry. He's some weird hybrid monster thing. Callista's 2 items. Bork, Hurricane. Caitlyn,
What would,
IE, crit item. Good.
what would Jinx's be then?
Jinx is 3 items. It's IE, crit based item, lifesteal item.
Okay.
Same with Tristana. Tristana's a 3 item power spike. Um, I don't know. At least the old Trist was. It's probably debatable at this point, but most people say Trist's power spike is 3 items. There's not really any exception to those. Cogmal's is 2 items. Bork Triforce. If you go that build, if you go IE crit item, that's his power spike as well. Fairly common across the board, and then they have another power spike around 4 items. Okay, hit the turret. You
Yeah, I
this
don't know
is
why
this
I
is
walked away.
greed.
That was stupid of me.
This is greedy.
Oh, because I was going after them.
We're just gonna sit here and watch this turret because I don't care what you're doing down there because it's irrelevant. Still here. This turret should be dead.
Yep.
You're getting chased by E. Okay, so there's an analogy I like to do, and it's a chess-based analogy, and I completely ripped this off from somebody else, but that's okay. So, if we're playing chess, what's the most important piece?
The queen.
No. What do you need to have to be in the game? Do you play
Oh,
chess?
the king.
Okay. As I said, you play chess? Because if not, I'll explain. The king is the most important thing in the game. Right? You need it to win. These are the equivalents to objectives in League. What's the second most important piece?
That would be the queen.
That is the queen. This is your CS. Okay? What is the queen used for in chess?
Basically, to take out any piece because she has all the mobility, movement. Like
She used
she
to
can
kill
go
the king.
anywhere.
She used to kill the king. Right? Standard thing. So you use your CS to get to objectives.
Okay.
Okay? What is the piece that's used very commonly with the queen to trap the king? I don't know if you know this.
The knights,
The rook.
the rook. Okay.
Again, debatable if you actually play chess, and if someone watches like this video and they're like, "You're an idiot," it's fine. The rook you can use with the queen to kind of trap the king, slowly push him back. This is your kills. So how this analogy works is that you can use your kills to kill the to get the objectives. Okay, you can use a rook to kill a king,
Yeah.
but the queen's better at it.
Right.
But if you get both, you kill the king easier.
So is it better to be? So it's better to be up in CS than in kills.
Yes, because it factors in. Uh, you have to factor in like risk versus reward. So like, the higher the risk, this is a little weight, and we have risk in here. You know, you should get a higher reward. Okay.
Okay.
But if you have a really high risk and a very low reward, that's bad. What you want is low risk. I can't spell. You want low risk with maybe like medium reward. Okay? And CSing is just that. You get your items, it's safe, low risk, you know, but you get rewarded for it fairly nicely. Kills are high risk, high reward because you're risking your own life and your own death and the other team's ability to get a kill to snowball the game faster. Right? Does it make sense? Because usually when you kill the other person and you get ahead, your CSing will follow with that eventually. So kills are still important, and if you can get one, you should grab it. But
Okay.
it's not worth throwing the game over. The main point is objectives win.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your first mess up as to why you didn't win late game. You focused kills over the turrets.
Okay.
You see the brand. Okay, don't go into a minion wave with brand. You're a free bounce target when you do that. Go catch that wave, clear it out, and then slow push the next one. If you don't know how to slow push, just look up a guide on it. So here's an example of you leaving a pressure point on yourself. Your wave's down one minion. This is going to push into that, kill these minions, and this wave is just going to shove right back into this turret.
Okay.
Okay?
So is that why like some people leave like one minion left alive in the wave?
If you watch LCS, what people do is they either kill like the front line or the back line.
Okay.
Depends on how big of a wave you want. If you want to be really cheeky, you can just kill a cannon creep sometimes in a cannon wave. So it's a wave plus cannon versus a regular wave, and that'll make a giant wave. Oh, it depends on what you want. Okay. No, you do not do this, Baron.
Yeah, I know. They started doing that. Yeah, not a good idea.
So when you went back down bottom lane and shoved that wave out again, you created a slow push by accident.
Okay.
This is what it looks like, and this is at this spot on the map, right? Imagine once it gets to here.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah. So big pressure point. You need to play around this. You need to be like, you need to type in chat like, yo, morons in solo queue. There's a big wave bottom. Get ready to push mid or top or something. Let's do something. Someone's gonna have to go down there and deal with it, right?
Right.
Okay. You got ghosted. She's literally healing you for no reason.
Yeah, and yeah, she was doing that quite a bit. That towards the end of the game.
What is this chick doing?
She was on tilt that game.
Yes. So instead of trying to go down here and help her, gosh dang it, my pause button's broke. Instead of going down here to help her, you should have just pushed mid.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stare at this turret again for this team fight. Yeah, not really.
I feel like I ended up dying this match. No.
You did because you got crit right there. There's no way you lived through this. Oh my god.
Oh, I did live through it.
This rock is retarded.
Yeah, I know. Stupidly broken with the heals.
So if you would have... Stupid pause button. If you would have pushed this down earlier, And then ignore Aurelia bottom. You could have had this by now.
Yep.
So there's your inhib. Okay. Run, 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 run. Oh my gosh. That's a mess. To defend the turret. So you could have had an inhibitor by now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Priorities. You want the kills over the objectives.
Yep.
Don't ever walk into a mastery. The champion is busted and people just don't realize it. So I'm assuming this is kind of just goes downhill from now.
Yeah, it does start to go downhill for us.
Okay. So your biggest issue right now is I'm gonna end it here because I'm assuming I'll just like go closer to the end. Yeah, you guys just get pushed in.
Yeah. It's over, so yeah, you can just
Okay.
end it.
Okay. So now what I like to do is I'll give you like a little notepad, um, with some things I think you need to really focus on that will help you the most.
I've been taking notes this entire fucking time.
Okay. So we will do a full thing. So
Or do you
first
just want
thing
me-
is
do you want me to just read off what I've got and then you can add anything more?
no, because there's multiple stuff. I give you like new champions that I think would be good for you and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
As an
Let's see.
ADC main, you should know almost every ADC. I'd say pick 5 to 6. The reason ADCs can do this is because a lot of the champions have the same stuff, and since your main source of damage is your auto attacks, it's okay to have multiples. Definitely work more on your Caitlyn. Okay, and you can
Okay.
just copy this down on your notepad as we go.
Okay.
I give you 5 things. I give everyone I coach 5 things they need to focus on in an order from most important. Excuse me, most important to least important. Your first thing is CSing. Okay, you need to work on the CSing. To do this, especially as a diamond player, you should be able to hit close to max. To do this, go into a custom game for 20 minutes. Aim for 20 CS. 200 CS. Yeah, 20 CS. 200 CS at 20 minutes. With no runes, no masteries, no items besides health potions. Okay? And this is just you in a custom game by yourself.
Okay.
Okay? After you do that, custom game with items, masteries, runes. Okay? So, if you want to take the game seriously and you want to climb, you need to devote some custom time to it, just on your own base mechanics. I don't know if you play CSGO, but CSGO players who are at higher levels, they spend hours a day just DMing because they need to keep their aim at top shape. League players need to keep their CSing practice up, and you can't do that just in a regular game.
Yeah.
Okay? The second thing you need to do is work on objectives over kills. Okay? Self-explanatory, I've already explained this. Next is learning lane matchups. You need to do research on your own. Look up guides, highly recommended guides, people who are one-trick ponies, and see what they say about matchups. You have to know the matchups, because you need to know how to win the lane with them. Okay, that's what makes one-trick ponies so good, is because they know how to play the matchups. Trading and direct input. Yours is fairly sloppy. And of course, keep in mind, I'm comparing you to a challenger level player. Okay, that's the goal, is to get you to challenger.
Yep.
So your trading and direct input is very sloppy, and that needs a lot of work. And then I'd say I want to put down animation canceling. You really need to learn how to do that at your level of play. It's something you should be able to do on all your champions that you can animation cancel with. An example is like Jinx can animation cancel on auto with her W. Right, with Zap. So you auto and instantly hit Zap and it cancels your attack animation after the rocket goes. And your attack still goes off, but you start the Zap instantly. example with Graves is how you can use your Q and your ult at the same time if you quickly hit QR, right?
Yeah.
Learning how to do that kind of stuff is important.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. So that's all I have.